Hello everyone. Today we'll be covering Rule 1 in depth of Rule of the Road at Sea. Part A. General. Rule 1 Application. A. These rules shall apply to all vessels upon the high seas and in all waters connected therewith navigable by seagoing vessels. Important here is to bear in mind that these rules apply to all vessels navigating in navigable waters. B. Nothing in these rules shall interfere with the operations of special rules made by an appropriate authority for roadsteads, harbors, rivers, lakes or inland waterways connected with the high seas and navigable by seagoing vessels. Such special rules shall conform as closely as possible to these rules. Special rules made by authorities must be different from these rules and should be published to sailing directions. What is a roadstead? It is of open anchorage, generally protected by shoals, which offers less protection than a harbor. This means that coastal states or local authorities may make special rules for areas which lie outside the usual limits of inland waters. Mariners should be aware that special rules may be applicable in such areas and should consult the sailing directions and other publications for details. C. Nothing in these rules shall interfere with the operation of any special rules made by the government of any state with respect to additional station or signal lights, shapes or whistle signals for ships of war and vessels proceeding under convoy, or with respect to additional station or signal lights or shapes for fishing vessels engaged in fishing as a fleet. These additional station or signal lights, shapes or whistle signals shall, so far as possible, be such that they cannot be mistaken for any light, shape or signal authorized elsewhere under these rules. Again, special rules made by authorities with regard signal light, shapes or whistle signals for ships of war proceeding under convoy or fishing vessels engaged in fishing as a fleet must be different from these rules and should be published to sailing directions. D. Traffic separation schemes may be adopted by the organization for the purpose of these rules. In areas of high activities, the authorities may adopt traffic separation schemes in order to regulate the traffic. E. Whenever the government concerned shall have determined that a vessel of special construction or purpose cannot comply fully with the provisions of any of these rules with respect to the number, position, range or arc of visibility of lights or shapes, as well as to the disposition and characteristics of sound signaling appliances, such vessel shall comply with such other provisions in regard to the number, position, range or arc of visibility of lights or shapes, as well as to the disposition and characteristics of sound signaling appliances, as her government shall have determined to be the closest possible compliance with these rules in respect of that vessel. Paragraph D. Above is a sentence only and must be one of the longest sentences in history, 106 words, and of course, it can be one of the worst rules to read, with a series of let-out clauses for governments and other agencies in sections B, 2, E. However, the important part for us is that the regulations apply to all vessels on the sea and also in their connected waters, which are capable of being navigated by seagoing vessels. Note that, in addition to the rules, extra regulations might also apply when navigating in harbors, rivers and other inland waterways. These might relate to the imposition of specific speed limits and steering directions in restricted waters, though other special conditions may also apply. For instance, the current Environment Agency, Thames Region, bylaws require a full set of navigation lights for powered craft under 7 meters, even though the regulations call for an all-round white light only, provided the boat cannot exceed 7 knots. Another example can be found on the Rhine, where German authorities insist on, where practicable, the masthead lights being on the same level as the side lights, rather than at least 1 meter above them. This is to assist in avoiding confusion with bridge signals. Clearly, when operating in areas under the jurisdiction of a specific navigation authority, one has to be sure of compliance with local rules. But the basic principles of collision avoidance remain the same in almost all situations. Don't forget. If you liked this video, please feel free to share with your friends and subscribe our channel for more videos. Fair winds and following seas from Boating Hub.